Hi, welcome to my lab. Today I have this voice generator. The reference of this one is V695/10. This thing is from Racal Acoustics. On that side there is a sub-D connector. As you can see, this thing is a little bit bent. So I will try to repair this thing first because I think it will be difficult to remove the cover. Okay, it is better now. First I will do a teardown of this device, and after that, for the sound aficionados, I will try to get it to work. I think it will not be complicated. I think that the device is similar to the first Racal voice generator. So let's open this thing to see what is inside. Okay, look at that. We have a Cosmac processor, CDP1802. This seems to be a 2 kilobytes SRAM, and we have two EEPROMs here. So obviously one is for the code, the second one should be for the voice. This one is a 32 kilobytes EEPROM. This one is a 128 kilobytes EEPROM. You can see that we have two other boards. Let's remove the top board. And this is a very nice construction. On that board there are a few ICs. I don't know the purpose of this board. There is a latch here. There is a 40106. I don't know exactly the function. This is the 4520. If I remember correctly, this should be a counter. There is a 4518 and 4520. So this is, I think, a binary counter. And we have a 4021, I don't remember. And this part, this is maybe a DAC. It is possible that this is a conversion board, HC1 or I 55564-9, that code 94. Because there is an op-amp also. I think it's an op-amp. Yes, it's a classic LM1458. This is a dual op-amp. And as you can see, there is a conformal coating. Sorry for the reflection of the light. And the last board is an analog board. There are two quad comparators, the classic LM139. This is to be the input interface, obviously. It seems that we have 8 digital inputs. You can see the protection diode here, probably pull-ups here, some protective resistors. Here, so we have 10K or 100K, let me see. 10K resistors. And here we have several power transistors and the 5 volts regulator and 5496. You can see we have several transistors here. This one is a BC394. This one 94 also. These are the same, so we have two others here. And there is an op-amp here, probably. Let me see. I cannot read. It's written M47AB. Okay, so this is something else. This is an LM759. And there is a trim pot. Okay, so for example, when you have something like that and you want to start to do something, it is always interesting to start from what is known. Something which is known is the voltage regulator here. You can see that the input of the 5 volts regulator is also connected to the right pin of this transistor, okay, which should be the emitter. This should be a NPN transistor. Okay, so the base is on the left here. So this is effectively the emitter, and the emitter is connected to the input. So this seems to be a first regulator. So maybe the input voltage is the collector of this transistor, the middle point here. So let's try the middle pin. Okay, so there is a diode actually between pin 1 of the sub D here. So the pin 1 should be connected to a diode in order to avoid the problem if there is a reverse polarity at the input voltage. So we should find a diode somewhere. This seems to be this one here. Okay, it is the case. So the input voltage pin 1 corresponds to the anode of this diode. The cathode is connected to the collector of this transistor. The emitter of this transistor is connected to the input voltage of this 5 volts regulator. So this seems to be a first pre-regulator in order to limit probably the power dissipation in the 5 volts regulator. So we can follow the base of this transistor. The base is connected to the VIA here, and the VIA is connected to this transistor. This is the emitter. Okay, so this should be a NPN transistor also. Okay. So the emitter is connected to the base of this transistor, and the base should be connected to the Zener diode here. This is probably a Zener diode. There is first a resistor and this diode. So effectively, there is the first pre-regulation using a Darlington made by this transistor and this one. There is a resistor in series with the base and the Zener diode. So this seems to be the ground. Okay, so this is the ground effectively. Okay, so this transistor is identified. So this one and this one are used for a pre-regulation, probably 12 volts or something like that. Then there is this regulator which permits to give 5 volts voltage. All logic ICs. I don't know this one. The LM759. So let's have a look right now. Okay, so this thing is a power op-amp. So this seems a good candidate for a small audio amplifier, but I'm not sure. It can be interesting to find the output of this op-amp. Normally it is the same pin out, I think, than the classic op-amp. So this is the power supply here, pin 7, output is here, pin 6. Okay, but we can see that we have a tantalum capacitor here and a resistor. So this is maybe connected to the output because we have effectively a connection to that pin here, pin 8, sorry. Okay, so effectively pin 6 is connected to this capacitor here, this tantalum capacitor, and the second leg of this capacitor is connected to the resistor and to the output. But this capacitor has a small value, 10 microfarads. So I think that this is not a power amplifier, but just probably a line amplifier. But I think that we have found the audio output. This is this pin here, pin 8. As we can see, there are two connections here, so this is a common point connected. This should be pull-ups. Okay, so these resistors are maybe connected to 5 volts power supply. Let's have a look. No. Yes, okay, but actually they are connected to the input voltage of the regulator, so this should be 12 volts power supply. So it seems that the inputs effectively are connected to pull-ups which are connected to 12 volts power supply. So this is this line here. Okay, but we can see, for example, that this resistor is connected effectively to the 12 volts power supply. So this is an input, but the same line is connected through this resistor to the ground probably. So there is maybe a selection for all inputs with a high level or a low level depending on the configuration. So depending if you want a high level input or a low level input, probably you connect the pull-up or the resistor to the ground. So this seems to be the ground, I think. Okay, so this is effectively the ground. Okay, so I think we have more or less everything. So we have the input power supply. It is pin 1 here. So we have to find the ground. It is maybe pin 2, I don't know. Okay, it is the case. So we have at pin 1 the power supply input. This should be 28 volts. We have the ground. We have the audio output, which is pin 8 here. And the rest should be the digital inputs. So I will reassemble everything. I will connect the power supply. I will connect an amplifier to pin 8 here. And I will connect manually all these pins to the ground through a small resistor to avoid problems. I don't know. Because we have obviously 8 inputs here. I think that one input corresponds to one message. So we should have 8 oral messages. I have connected this voice generator to the audio amplifier here on the left, which is connected to this loudspeaker. I have found that there are actually 7 messages. In order to have better quality, I will connect directly the audio output here to the audio input of the camera.
Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Gear, gear. Reheat, reheat. Head up, head up. Time hack, time hack. Threat, 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 threat. Obstruction, obstruction.
That's all for this Racal voice generator. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.